Hello and welcome back to Seconds Out. My name is Eamon Khan. Great to be in the company of the engine Ekow, the engine Essuman, who takes on Chris Kongo only a few weeks away now. Ekow, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Pleasure to have you. I appreciate you giving me some of your time. Ekow, let's jump straight into the fight. A good fight. It's been well received online when it was announced. Can you tell me how the fight came about?
Um, well, after defending my titles to Samuel Antwi, I'd wanted to push on to something like the European titles. And I knew they would come, they'd be available because David was going to get his world title match. So obviously, naturally, I wanted to go for him, but obviously they got given to Met and another boxer to box for them in March. So it would have left me waiting a while, maybe possibly June, to challenge for them. And I knew at the time, well, I heard at the time that Mr. Congo or Mr. Boa Congo was also in it to challenge for those European titles. He was one of the people that put in bids, or his team, or one of the teams that put in bids for him to fight for that title. So I just kept my head down, started training because I knew ideally I wanted to be fighting in possibly get a cheeky one out in December. Throughout December I was training regardless of not having a date. I stay ready so I don't have to get ready. Uh, and there were little whispers of fighting fighting for a fringe, fighting an ex kind of fighter who had been at world title level. And I knew Chris had fought Formella, and I was saying to my manager, well, yeah, we can get someone like that, um but we just have to wait a while, find a good opponent, someone worthy, someone who like it is a step up in opposition, someone that will give me a great challenge. And then I did say at one point to my manager, well, we might as well just fight someone like Chris Kongo because he's already fought the Formella person. I might as well take his ranking. And so funnily enough, Boxer reached out, they gave us an offer. They said, would you like to fight Chris? I said yes. Um, and here we are, really. I stipulated in the contract that his belt needs to be on the line as well. So it's a four belt match because I need to eat. I need to bring something back for Warren as well.
I hear that. I noticed in another interview, I think it was IFL, you mentioned there that also you had a conversation with Carl Froch and he gave you advice in terms of your career. You need like a fight that's
Yeah.
really going to get people bubbling, and this is one of those. Can you tell me about
Yeah.
the advice you get from Carl? Is Carl someone you can lean on for that advice?
Carl's someone I can always just chat to. He's me and him, he's very down to earth, very it just tells it how it is, doesn't mix things around. And yeah, this chat that we had, he just advised and just said, look, you like um at that point people were avoiding me. Some you can say some people still are avoiding me, but it's not really avoiding as such. Everyone's on their own paths and they've chosen their own paths and whatnot. But he just advised me that I need that breakout fight where people are saying it's a pick 'em fight or it's 50-50 or to pundits and no one can choose who they think will win for this, that, the other reason. And obviously with British fights, normally that happens because when your mandatory gets picked, it'll be someone of good ranking and someone who will give you a fight. And surely enough, all my mandatories have been that. Um, but I believe this is the fight where it's really got people up for it, and no one knows what's going to happen bar me. Um, so I'm excited for it.
Okay, you mentioned the phrase there 50-50. Do you feel it's a 50-50 fight?
Oh hell no! But this is boxing. Well, I'm sure Chris feels that too. But it's down to me on the night to show him the levels. I'm the champion. He's the champion as well, but I'm bringing more belts, so I'm going to show him the levels and what comes with that.
Ekow, was Chris ever on your radar? Had you sparred him before? And also, when you look at Chris as a fighter? You mentioned his fight with Formella there, so that's a fight you'll have seen. What do you make of the challenges he'll bring to you on the night?
Oh yeah, Chris is a good boxer. We used to be on Team GB together. We've shared rounds. It's easy to go back to then and say, yeah, this happened and that happened and whatnot. But I don't really like to think that way because I like to think that he would have improved since the time that I sparred him, because I know I've improved a hell of a lot. So it's a bit naive to go back to them days. Um, Different fighters, amateurs are different to the pros. So it's just one of those things. I've watched his career as he's been coming up. I've seen his fights. He'll what he brings to this fight. He brings good stuff to this fights table. A slightly different stylistic set or approach from maybe some of my other opponents, but one that I'm very welcome for him to bring. Obviously he's got his range, he's tall, people would say, but I mean, I fought Tyrone Nurse, who's tall and hella awkward. I fought Danny Ball, who's tall, and very good with his weight. He's a big guy. And so stuff like that doesn't bother me. The awkwardness doesn't bother me. He'll bring it. He'll come out. He'll be sharp and whatnot. But everyone is. Boxing ain't about what you can do when you're fresh. It's about what you can do later on when it's not so easy and you're in the trenches. And I more or less live in the trenches. So I'm game and I'm chomping at the bit for it.
Ekow, Chris has linked up with Ben Davison since, as you mentioned, him being on Team GB. The team are known for studying the fighters that their fighters are posed up against, so yourself in this case, so they'll no doubt have their eye on you. What do you feel you can do there in the ring that's going to be the biggest challenge for them to overcome? Is it the engine, the famed engine?
Um, they can analyze what they think to be my style, but gonna have to wait and see. I think they'll have their hands full in living in the thought sense of thinking about the future. What is he gonna do? Is he gonna fight like this? Is he gonna fight like that? They might be a bit anxious about how they are gonna analyze it because on the night, I could come out and bring a different style. Because as I've always said, I can fight many different ways, and it's just up to me what I bring out when I bring it and when I need it. And my coach and I have been working really hard, and everything's just coming together in terms of the different things that I've brought in different matches and how I present them and what I've been working on. So I'm just really looking forward to showing everyone what I've learned and how I've improved in what I've learned and how to do it.
That definitely comes across, Ekow, when in your answers there, as does you looking forward to that fight too. But I wonder, you're on the away show here. Do you worry about being on the away show at all? Should this go to cards? Does that thought ever come into your mind?
Um, I feel like that every match, you think about I think about it the same way. So doesn't bother me about that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken the fight.
Mhm. The WBC International Silver is one of the belts, one of the many belts that are on the line in this fight there. I believe you're ranked with the IBF. This would give you the ranking with the WBC. Should you win, potentially getting towards the world title level, is that the plan for you this year? If everything goes your way, getting towards the steps of getting that world title?
Oh yes, when I win, my WBC ranking will be in place. My IBF ranking will be in place. It'll just get higher and higher, and then it's just undeniable. The cream always rises to the top, and I'm gonna rise to the top.
Ekow, you mentioned Avanesyan there, someone who's positioned himself at the European level. He's had his fight with Terence Crawford, which ended in controversy. They're assessing that situation now. But I wonder, Avanesyan is with Queensberry. Would you potentially like to face Avanesyan maybe this year if that fight could happen?
Um, we've shared many around, and I'd always say I've respect for. I'd always say if us two fought, it would need to be for a world title because the amount of entertainment we'd bring everyone, we deserve that. So I mean, one can never say never. Just need the right belts on the line.
What are those rounds like? You said there you'll be a lot of entertainment. Can you bring me into what those rounds are like? The sparring with Davison.
Um, we respect each other. We're very cordial with each other. Cool. We talk about normal everyday things, but put us in the ring and you'll think we're trying to kill each other.
Ekow, final thing then. Congo 21st. Tell me, how does that fight end?
I break things, so I will break him.
Ekow, pleasure speaking to you. Thanks so much for speaking to Seconds Out. Looking forward to the fight. We'll catch up very soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
No worries. Cheers, brother.